Everyone, welcome back to another episode of Golf Cart Garage. Thank you for joining us. It is Tuesday. It's Thursday because we missed on Tuesday, and I hope everybody got the notification of why we missed it. We had several rounds of storms came through central Arkansas, and some of them produced a lot of damaging hail. You may have seen it in the news. It was all over the news because we literally had baseball size hail, and there's pictures and video, and I literally mean baseball. That's not an exaggeration. So it did a lot of I didn't suffer any damage. I got very lucky. The hailstorms were just like in different pockets all over the area. It wasn't like just one big hailstorm. They were in different pockets, and all those pockets had different size hail, but there was some pockets of hailstorms that had massive hail and lots of damage. It did so much damage. I know a guy who's a roofer, and he was telling me that he's seen a lot of hail damage in his life, because being a roofer. And he said, but this time was different. He said not only did he see, obviously golf ball size hail can tear up your roof, but baseball size hail will not only tear up your roof, it will tear up your house, and it also tore up people's yards. The grass just shredded their yards all up like a tractor had gone through there. It's crazy. I mean, I would hate to have been in it. It was very violent. Let's see, Keith from Nashville, Keith and Chris from Nashville checking in. Missed you on Tuesday. Well, I was sorry I couldn't be here, but there was some weather issues, like I said. Missy, what's up, Missy? Missed you on Tuesday also. Envy Nature Girl, how are you? Rock Dog, hello everyone. No wonder I didn't get a notification. I thought I missed it and forgot. No, you didn't forget. It was couldn't be helped. My internet was out, is what the deal was. I didn't suffer any damage, but my electricity went on and off so many times during the storms, and then whenever they got that figured out, they got the electricity back on, and my neighborhood was back on, we figured out the internet was out too. So it turns out it blew up some internet amplifiers and stuff down the street. So they finally got that figured out. That's why I couldn't go. I didn't have internet. That's why I wasn't here on Tuesday. Yes, I did get lucky. Kurt, weathered the storm. Thank God. Yep, I did. Gene Hanson. All right, well, I'll get it started, Gene. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, geez, so glad you and your wife are okay. Yeah, we're fine. Good morning, Travis Lee. Missed everyone. Yep, sorry about that. Just couldn't be helped. I had no internet that was good enough. I've got backup internet, but it's not quite good enough for me to stream. I need to be here in order to stream on both platforms. So that's why it was yeah, it is amazing how we can't live without the internet now, because my wife actually works from home also. She has a remote position also. So we're both down when we have no internet. That's why we have to have backup after backup, It is crazy though when you think about it. I'm just checking over here on Facebook. I think we're good. Well, this is, let me see. Let's go ahead and if you want to follow us on other platforms, there's the social media links. I'll run them now. That's TikTok and Instagram. We have a following on both of those platforms also, not just Facebook and YouTube, and it's growing all the time. So you're welcome to follow us on there. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and then you will get notified when we go live. If you are ready, the garage is open. We're going to get started with the regular questions. Here we go. Question number 1. Ezgo battery charging. This year everything ran fine the first day, but the second day the battery didn't fully charge. I noticed when I plug it in that the light on the charger blinks green slowly, but when I come back out it's red. I'm finding that my battery never gets fully charged. Any ideas? Well, the red is definitely a fault code. It's definitely telling you something. That red light's telling you something. It's either going to be the charger or you're going to have something wrong in your battery pack. So we're going to have to eliminate that. And the easiest way to eliminate the charger is let somebody else try it on another car, on another Ezgo. That's the easiest way to eliminate that charger. And on the battery pack, I'm going to need to see voltages and see what's going on there. But it's obviously starting to charge fine with the green blinking light, and then it's sensing some kind of fault and it's going red. It's either, but it could be a faulty charger though. So that's why we'd want to try that on another car. Because if it's one of those kind of chargers, I don't think it has any replaceable parts anyway. So you might just have to replace it. Let's see, I'm about to put in a generic generator at my house. We lost electricity last week during a storm. It was without power 12 hours. It was horrible. My kids were burning up, no AC. The same thing happened here, Missy. I lost electricity and it was out for the entire night. And my wife was here with no electricity. I was at another location that we have that did have electricity. So I was fine there, but she had to stay here all night with no AC, and it was starting to get hot too. So we've had the generic generator conversation recently, since the storms came through. Travis Lee, we're in a heat wave warning right now. We are too. We're in I got the advisories this morning that we were in it's called I don't know if it was weather.com or weather app that I got. It says it calls an excessive heat warning is we're in right now, and for the next couple of days, because we're going to get close to 100 for sure, over getting closer to 4th of July. So, oh, and by the way, it's 4th of July weekend, coming up. So happy 4th of July, everybody. Let's see, number 2. I have an electric car that's non-responsive, has a full charge on it, and I'm not hearing the usual click I hear when I step on the gas pedal. All right, well, not a lot of information there for me to go on, but you should hear the solenoid click. If you do not hear a solenoid click when you step on the gas pedal, it's never going to run. So depending on which cart you have is going to determine what the device is called that you need to look at. And I talk about this all the time. It's going to be your potentiometer. Whatever potentiometer you have, there's going to be a micro switch involved, and I would have to eliminate that first. I need to know a little information about your cart. Does it have a run tow switch or not? That may change my opinion on some things. Greg Elliott, glad to see you back on the air and safe. Happy 4th to everyone. Yes, happy 4th of July, everyone. Number 3. 2009 Club Car Precedent hesitates, jerks when I press the accelerator pedal. When I let off the accelerator pedal, it brakes hard and then beeps twice. Any idea what is wrong? I already checked the batteries and changed the MCOR and speed sensor. If it's doing the braking hard and the beep, that means the solenoid has dropped out. To me, the solenoid has dropped out, because if you drop the solenoid out while you're rolling, it will come to an abrupt braking and make the beep. So if the solenoid is dropping out, it could be a couple of things. This may be a case where you need to have your controller read, your fault codes read, because that it's either going to be leaning toward the solenoid itself, or the controller could be causing that solenoid to drop out. But anyway, there's a fault code going on every time that's happened, and it's stored. This may be a case where you take it to a dealer that has the reader, the special computer, and plug it in and get your fault codes read off of there. It may that would be the easiest way to determine what it is. Number 4. Let me check Facebook real quick here. Let's see. Missy says a good investment, not bad pricing. $7K for the one that has Wi-Fi and all the goodies. Puts out 26,000 watts and comes with a 200 amp transfer switch. You can run the whole house then and some. That's not bad. I wasn't aware of how much it was going to be. I just had an estimate in mind. But yeah, that would be fine. That'd be fine for us, I bet. Because, yeah, that would be fine. So we're going to have to look into that. And I would want the one with Wi-Fi and everything, so I could monitor it from another location and all of that. Both login from different locations from work. I wasn't sure about that, Nature Girl. You had said something about you see your husband was on, and I was thinking, I didn't want to speak out of turn that Travis was your husband. So 𝗪𝘂𝘁𝗍𝗔 is your husband. Okay, I got it now. I thought so, but I wasn't sure. That's why I never have addressed that. So you got Missy and Quan, and then Envy Nature Girl and 𝗪𝘂𝘁𝗍𝗔. I got you. We're on number 4. I agree, Missy. A little bit of overkill in that case is all right with me. Ab, glad you're back, Tim. Love the show. Glad you're back, Ab. Number 4. I have an older EZgo with a 185cc 2-stroke. It won't run. It has good spark, rebuilt fuel system, and appears to have good compression, but has no vacuum at the fuel pump or the carb. Any help? Well, I can tell you this. The older 2-strokes, which I do, I have one. I mean, that's a Yamaha over there, that Yamaha G1. That's an older 2-stroke. Now, I haven't had to do it, but everybody that I've ever talked to that's had an older 2-stroke for any period of time, they will run and run and run and run and for years, but something that's degrading, that's causing it to run worse and worse and worse as time goes on, is your crank seals. And crank seals would have a direct effect on your vacuum that you're pulling. So it's very likely that you need to just replace your crank seals. And I've talked to many people. They said they couldn't get their 2-stroke running real good. They replaced the crank seals, and now it runs like a top. That's all they did, is replace the crank seals, because that fixes all of your vacuum issues. Makes your fuel pump work better. It fixes everything having to do with vacuum. So it's very likely that that's what the deal is in your old 2-stroke. I'm looking forward to having it done in mine, by the way, even though it doesn't need it right now. It runs fine, but I'm looking forward to getting it a complete rebuild on it. Who knows how good that car actually runs. It's so old now. It's over 30 years old, and I've never rebuilt it. I've had it for, I probably said this before, I bet I've had it for 15 years. Let's see. We both commented on the golf cart to input the video above, and be great for you to do a tutorial as you go along so we can see the progress. I got you. I got you. That would be a good idea. All right. I have a 95 Club Car DS. What upgrades can I install to increase torque and speed? I already have a lift kit and larger tires. I already have a lift kit and larger tires. Okay, well, the larger tires probably did affect your torque. The best thing to do in an electric cart to increase torque and speed would be to go with a complete motor, controller, and solenoid combo kit. You get another motor, a bigger horsepower motor that has a little more RPMs, or you can do it for torque or speed depending on what you want. Even if you want both, if you go to golfcartgarage.com and look at our combo kits, you can get a motor, a controller, and a heavy-duty solenoid all in one package. And in the description for that particular item, it will tell you the amount of torque increase, percentage of torque increase, and percentage of speed increase that you can expect from it. So that'd be a good way to go. And if that's not enough, if that's not enough speed after you get through doing that, you could put high-speed gears in it and get you some more speed that way. Easy Mike says, also check clearances on main crank bearings. Okay, you're talking about the crank bearings in the 2-stroke. Yeah, check clearances on main crank bearings. It's a very simple motor and a very good motor, if you ask me. The Yamaha and the EZgo. I'm not real familiar with the Club Car two-stroke from back in the day, but I am the Yamaha and the Ezgo, and the Yamaha is real good. I mean, I've got the most experience with that one, but that one is really good in G1s. Number 6. I have a 2004 Club Car Precedent that shudders when I push the accelerator pedal. Is this a solenoid problem? There it goes. That word shudder. I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm going to say. They use the word shudder. If you use the word stutter or shudder with me, if you use stutter or shudder, then I am going to suspect right off the bat that there is a battery-related issue. It's either going to be a loose cable, you're going to have a cell dropping out in one of your batteries, you're going to have maybe more than one battery that's dropping out, because that will cause someone to say shudder or stutter every time that happens. So that's going to be a battery-related issue, but it's, like I said, it could be a cable. You know, that would still be battery-related. It could be one of your cables connected to one of your batteries. Okay. Number 7, but let me check over here on Facebook. Oh yeah, we got people on Facebook I'm missing. Jimmy Stokely, what's up, Jimmy? 86 in Hazy in East Tennessee. Thank you for stopping by, Jimmy. Joseph Thomas on Facebook. Save us an easy way to bypass OBC on an 09 Club Car Precedent for lithium batteries. Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it, Joseph. You can buy the OBC bypass kit for your particular onboard computer. You gotta, that's the thing you have to realize. You've got to get a specific one that matches your onboard computer, the plug that you have on your onboard computer. You can buy one of those and follow the instructions. Now, you can also go to buggy'sgonewild.com and look at the thread onboard computer bypassing. There's over 20 pages of it, and that explains in detail for your particular car. You'll have to look for it to make sure you're talking about your particular car. 2006 Club Car DS 48 volt. No, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry. An 09 Precedent. And they explain in detail how to do it yourself without buying anything. You can do it yourself. So it's up to you which way you would want to go. But the easiest way would be to buy the deal that matches your computer. Let's see, Sherry Briggs. Glad to hear everyone is okay. I have a question. 2006 Club Car DS 48 volt with run toe switch. You got a 2006 DS with run toe switch. Okay, so that's a 2006 IQ. With foot off gas, will run away downhill, increasing speed. Is this normal? No, that's not normal, Sherry. You're saying that it will freewheel down a hill. Is that what you're telling me? If it does, your controller, see, in that you have a run toe switch in a 2006, so that means with run toe switch. Okay, so that means your car is an IQ. That means because it's an IQ, that means your controller is programmable. That being said, your controller is programmable for the different amounts of regenerative braking that your car has when going down a hill. So someone may have programmed the controller and they either removed all the regenerative braking completely out of your controller, or you have a speed sensor issue on your motor that's not working correctly. But no, you're not supposed to be able to freewheel down a hill on that car unless some things have been modified or changed, or, like I said, speed sensor issue on the end of the motor. Let's see. Christopher Hill, hi there. What's up, Christopher Hill? Thank you for stopping by. I'm on Facebook, everybody. I'll be back to YouTube here in a second. Sherry Briggs, yes. What did I, let's see. Okay, okay, you were answering one of my questions, I see. Yeah, that's, somebody's either programmed your controller or you got a speed sensor issue on the end of your motor if you're able to freewheel that car, because you shouldn't be able to freewheel like that. Now, if it runs fine, I don't guess you're going to hurt anything. I don't see how it would hurt anything. If everything else is fine with it besides that, But if you wanted to get that changed, you're going to have to go to a club car dealer and have them check your controller, plug in and check and see where your region is set. I mean, it might be set to 0, you know. Okay. Ricky Smith, what's up, Ricky? I'm back on YouTube. What's the largest tire and wheel I can put on my 05 without lifting it? You could try 20s. You could try 20s. I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, the reason I say I don't know if it's going to work because it depends on the wear and tear on your springs, your existing springs. Because a brand new set of springs, 20s may work, but a used set of springs, you know, a golf cart that's been used for a while, 20s may rub. So you could try 20s, but that's going to be pushing it on non-lifted. Just saw a G1 or G2 riding past my house the other day, and I thought of you, Tim. Well, a G2 looks a lot different than a G1. G1 is the one where the whole body lifts up. I mean, the whole body lifts up and exposes the entire engine compartment. A G2, the seat, just the seat lifts forward. It goes toward the steering wheel and exposes the entire engine compartment. But a G1, the whole body goes toward the rear and exposes everything. Makes it real easy to work on. I didn't have a rear seat kit, but it had 2 kids hanging off the back where the golf cart bags were. Yeah, they actually have a flat area, like I think, you know, mine has the sprayer on it, you know. Well, that's because I took the golf bags off, and there is a flat area there, and I just put some wood and made it a little bit bigger so it would hold the sprayer. So yeah, it probably was a G1 then, if they had that. Let's see, Sherry said, thank you, just ordered a speed sensor from y'all. Sadly, don't have a dealer nearby. Okay, well, we'll see if that works, because that would have been you know, one of the things I would have been suspecting. Speed sensor, or your controller is programmed for 0 regenerative braking, which I'm not even sure if they can take it all the way out. That's why I was saying speed sensor. I'm not sure that you can get rid of 100% of the region in an IQ. That's why I was thinking speed sensor, so that might be it. Let us know, Sherry. Come back and tell me whenever you get your speed sensor. See if that fixed your issue. We would all be interested to know. Let's see. Ricky said brand new heavy-duty springs on the rear. Well, if that's the case, then it's very likely that you could run 20s. I wouldn't doubt it if you could run 20s, at least on the rear. Now, you know, the front's going to be a different story, but you could probably run 20s because the heavy-duty springs actually lifts the rear a little bit, and the fact that they're heavy-duty, you know, they don't bend as much, so they don't sag as much, so that would probably work. Envy Nature Girl says hers freewheels when she unplugs the motor sensor. Okay, well, there you go. That's why I'm saying it could be a speed sensor issue. Just either maybe it's just unplugged. Did you see that, Sherry? Check your speed sensor and make sure that it's not just unplugged. Okay. Number 7, I think, is where we was at. Or was it 6? Let me just check. No, no, 6 was the shutter. Number 7. I'm wondering what part we would need for our Club Car Precedent golf cart. The golf cart will turn on, but when switched to drive or reverse, it seems as though the pedal is not connecting. The cart will turn on and buzz when in reverse, but when the golf cart pedal is pressed, it does not do anything. Let's see. Let me answer this question first. If you're telling me that your solenoid is not clicking, okay, when you press the accelerator pedal, if that's what you're telling me on that particular car, then the 2 most likely possibilities are going to be either MCOR or your controller. That's going to be it, because those 2 things are in the activation circuit for the solenoid. So if that's what you're telling me, if I'm understanding the question, when you say it does nothing, I'm assuming you mean the solenoid doesn't click at all. So you've got to get the solenoid to click. So it's going to either be MCOR or controller in that particular system. If it's, you know, if it's nothing obvious like cables or anything, you know, like I'm assuming that all your cables are connected and all that's fine. I'm assuming your battery voltage is good. I'm assuming a lot of things are good when I say that. Let's see, Kurt. What's up, Kurt? Kurt says, with all this heat, should we check the level in our batteries more often? I tell you what I do to compensate for a lot of heat. If your golf cart is in like a hot garage that gets, you know, up to 100 degrees and all that, I run a fan. I'm real, I don't know what you call it. I'm real particular about ventilation, and I don't like charging the golf cart in an enclosed garage. I've heard horror stories about, you know, that. I've heard people that have lost their homes because of things like that, you know. But so I like adequate ventilation, so I will run a fan to disperse anything that's going on from that charging cycle. And as far as using more water during this heat, it is very possible, and in fact it might be technically correct that does happen, but the fan, a lot of times I put the fan on the charger, and that helps a lot too. That helps the charge cycle go through like normal. So put the fan on your charger and keep all that cool, and it should charge better. But there's not a lot you can do. I mean, not a whole bunch you can do. And you check on your water. I don't know if you'd need to check on it more often. Just take a note whether or not you were lower than normal. That's what I would do. Let's see, Easy Mike says 20s are fine on his 2012 TXT. That's what I was thinking, that 20s would be about as much as you could do. Let's see, how do you test an inductive throttle sensor on an Ezgo golf cart? Bruce pointed. There is a ITS test. There is a test having to do with 0 to 5 volts and 14 volts on one wire. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm sure that if you plugged in Ezgo ITS test on Google, you would find the test that I'm talking about. There is a test, I just don't have it memorized. If I was going to do the ITS test, I'd have to look it up myself. I just know that there is one, and you're looking for, I think it's 0 to 14 volts or 5 volts to 0 volts. There are on a couple of different wires. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but yes, there is a test for that. Travis says, people at work think I'm crazy for watching this. Well, it's amazing. Look, it's amazing to me. Of course I'm into it. I'm into it. I've been into it for a long time. I'm probably way too into it. And I understand that to some people that may be weird, but I don't know. It's just something about electric vehicles and small personal vehicles, and the number of things that I've figured out how I can use a golf cart for. Here's a fact that I don't even know if any of you know this fact I'm about to say. Do you realize that I don't play golf? Does anybody know that? I didn't know if a lot of my customers were actually very confused about that I don't play golf. Not for any particular reason. But I have always liked golf carts to use as tools around my property, you know. And so, anyway, it is kind of crazy that you can find people, you know, people have very specific interest. So it's amazing to me that so many of you actually have an interest in this also. Let's see. Craig, what's up, Craig? What's shaking bacon? You got any Canadian smoke yet? No, I don't know if it's going to reach all the way down here. I've been hearing about that, but I don't know if it's going to reach me or not. Kurt says mine sits in the carport. Well, that's good if you got good ventilation, if you got open. Let's see. Craig says my buddy's club car that had the issue with having to press the gas pedal numerous times, turns out you were right. MCOR. All right, cool. I'm glad I was right. Thanks for sharing that, by the way. I like it when people share things about me being right, because I'm sure that's not always the case. There you go, Missy. Maybe they're crazy for not watching. Maybe they don't understand how significant a very small personal vehicle that gets excellent gas mileage or is completely electric is. Maybe they just don't understand that, Missy. So you're correct. They laugh, but then they look over and watch. Well, now see, now this makes me nervous. So I got all kinds of people watching me. 14-inch rims, low-profile tires with street tread on 𝗲𝘁𝘁𝗍𝗃's car. Let me get over here. Sherry says it's plugged in. Okay, so you might just have a speed sensor fault. We just did a lithium upgrade kit to it, so we checked everything out while working on it. Yeah, the lithium shouldn't have done it, so I wouldn't be surprised if you've got a speed sensor issue, you know, going on there. But it's like I said, it's either that or programmed controller for no reason. Yeah, that's true, Easy Mike. That is absolutely true. Heavy duty springs with low profile tires. I mean, you got two things there that are screaming rough ride. Two things right there that are screaming rough ride. Greg says he calls his car a micro Tesla with a crappy motor brake. Yep. Number 8 over here. My 2010 Club Car Villager LSV won't move, and the charger won't click on when plugged in. The batteries are each charged to 7.5. Total pack voltage is 42. Cables and connections are clean. Fuses all look good. From online info, I suspect an 𝗲𝘃𝗲𝗀. Any suggestions? Well, your battery pack is low. Now, that should be enough to turn that charger on. That should be enough, but that is low. That's really, really dead. That's a really dead battery pack. So I would try to figure out how to get that battery pack back up first and make sure your charger's not coming on. You need to do some more elimination. Put that charger on another cart, see if it comes on. Get your battery pack voltage up on yours, see if you can get it to come on. If it doesn't come on, even if you get those battery pack voltages up to about 8 volts a piece, then yes, we would be talking 𝗲𝘃𝗃𝗀. There's no doubt about it. And you would either need to get that fixed or bypassed or get a Summit 2 charger that can be wired directly to your batteries and not go through the 𝗲𝘃𝗃𝗀 at golfcartgarage.com. Using coupon code when you order it. You can get 5% off of that charger if you decided to go that route when you use coupon code TIM12. That's the new coupon code. See there, TIM12. This code expires July the 28th, 2023. So keep that in mind if you do have to go to a new charger, or if you want to get a new 𝗲𝘃𝗃𝗀, whichever way you want to do it. All right. Number 9, we're getting close to the last scheduled question here. I have a Yamaha 48-volt golf cart, full charge, 51 volts, play 18 holes and one big hill. The cart will slow down and just make it. The batteries are good, and when I get home, I test the volts and have 47 volts. Does my cart have regulator? The year is 2000. What else can be done or checked? Number 9, where'd it go? Okay, there it went. Well, when you get home, your car's at 47 volts, that's dead. So if the heel is after your 18 holes, like you said, and it gets weak on the heel, and then you go home and you're at 47 volts, that's dead. There's a big difference between 47 volts and 51. If you're talking about at-rest voltage, that's a huge difference. That's the difference between a cart being fully charged and being completely dead. Just that little space right there. So if you want to know how good your batteries pack is as a whole, then it might be time in your case for a discharge test. You might need to go to a golf cart shop, tell them you want a discharge test. You want to know how good your battery pack is as a whole. So they can do a discharge test on it depending on how many minutes it takes for it to get to an unsafe voltage, which is 47 volts, by the way. Somewhere right in that area is going to be on the discharge machine is looking for an unsafe voltage. I don't remember exactly how low it allows your voltage to get before it shuts off, but it will shut off when it gets to unsafe, and depending on how many minutes it took to get there, they can give you a really good idea of how good your battery pack is as a whole. That's one of the most accurate ways to do it, and without even getting into the acid part, without even using a hydrometer or anything like that. They can tell you. And they can also spot which battery you have is dropping out first, because I've said this a bunch of times, I know. You got 6 batteries in there, they never all die at once. You're going to have one that always dies first. And you might have one that's dying prematurely, or that's getting low prematurely and causing that 47 volts when you get home. Because you should still, 18 holes and 1 heel, if your battery pack was good, that shouldn't be an issue at all. July 3rd is Quan's birthday. He will be 31 this year. Happy birthday on July 3rd, Quan. Happy birthday, man. I know it's early, but seeing as we missed Tuesday, do we get 2 tips today? I don't know. Maybe I can pull 2 tips out. We'll see. About that easy. Let's see. 10-inch rim with regular street tires. I would go with 8 if you could. If you can get away with 8-inch rims with regular 20s, that gives you a lot of air pressure that you can play with. Travis Lee, we need you in Vegas. Golf shops in Vegas suck. I talk to people all the time. This is what they tell me. This is what I told them. I said, here at Golf Cart Garage, when they talk to me, they're real appreciative. Overall, 90-something% of everybody that I talk to is very, very appreciative of me calling them and trying to help them and trying to, steer them in the right directions. Overall, it's very positive. I get a lot of positive feedback, and I love that. And what they tell me is, they're confused. I can tell that these customers are confused, that they're speaking with me and I'm telling them stuff and for nothing. I'm not charging them anything. It's a free service. And what Golf Cart Garage has done is that we've changed a customer's way of thinking. Customers aren't used to that. They're not used to calling up and talking to somebody that has experience in the exact field that they're looking for, that is trying to help them for nothing, okay? They're not used to that, and that's why it's such a positive experience. What we've done at Golf Cart Garage is we're giving away information for free in exchange for your support, in exchange to hope that we get your support when you do need golf cart parts, because we sell a lot of golf cart parts. So we're giving you information for free, thinking that, we keep trying to help them out. Eventually they're going to realize, that they need some golf cart parts, and who are they going to come to? Well, they're going to come to us. And every one of the customers that I tell that to, they say that is a great business model. So that's what's going on. And when you saw the golf cart shops in Vegas suck, it's probably because they're still in that backwards way of thinking that, when you call them up and you say, my golf cart doesn't work. I say, oh, well, bring it in. Well, they want you to bring it in so they can start the clock. They can clock in. Because as soon as you bring it in, that golf cart gets clocked in on the clock and it starts running up a tab. Thanks, Tim, for the birthday wish. No problem. Okay, that sounds like a plan. I really appreciate your advice. Thanks, Mr. Craig. What does the other 3% talk to you about? Well, you have to understand, when you deal with the public, every now and then you might have an issue or so. Let's just say that. An issue can come up. It happens. It happens. But overall, it's very, very, very positive, the people that I speak with. Let's see. Billy Hill on Facebook. What's up, Billy Hill on Facebook? Welcome to the chat. 99 Club Car DS 48 volt. It was running fine. Then I parked it and put my battery tender on. A couple of weeks later, I went to drive it and it would not move. When I disconnected the battery tender, it had 58 volts. I replaced the solenoid, F&R, and potentiometer. Still nothing. I did notice that I have 35 volts on the motor case and 50 plus volts on all the motor lugs. Where do I go from this point? Okay, well, when you disconnected your battery tender and it had 58 volts, we're going to have to back up to there for now. That was going to just be surface voltage, because that would just be surface voltage, because fully charged 48 volt pack in a golf cart is going to be about 51 point something, 52 volts, not 58. So the 58 was just right after you took the battery tender off. And if it was really that high and the battery tender wasn't connected, 58, I wonder what it was sitting at all the time. I mean, that tells me that it very possibly could have been sitting at even much higher voltage. So what I would want to know at this point, Billy, is if you, after the battery tender has been removed for all day, or after you've driven the car, I want to know what your voltages are in your batteries now, with nothing on it, or with nothing connected to it, and hadn't been connected to it for over 12 hours. I want to see what your real resting voltage is on your batteries now, because it may have done something, you know, it may have popped something if it was putting too much voltage to your pack. So let's go back to your batteries, is what I'm saying. Ab says GHOD, clap. Thank you, Ab. Hit the like button for free info. Any type of service business, you can make everyone happy, but you can't make everyone happy no matter how good you are. Learned long ago. That is absolutely correct, Missy. Gary D, how many amps does an electric motor in a golf cart draw approximately? Gary D, going on flat ground, a stock golf cart going wide open, somewhere between 50 and 100 amps, something like that. You know, going wide open, full speed on flat ground, somewhere between 50 and 100 amps. And that's exactly what the discharge machine that I was talking about earlier, that's what it simulates. It simulates going wide open. So when you turn that discharge machine on that battery pack, it's just like it's putting about the same amount of stress as going wide open in your golf cart does. Craig says, thank you, Tim and Dino and Iman and Dave and everyone else at GCG. You all do a great job. Thank you, Craig. Thank you very much. We have a lot of good people that work here. I know I've said that before, but I can't say it enough. We have a lot of good people that work here. Okay, number 10. This is the last scheduled question. I have a 94 Club Car DS 36 volt. Runs okay on flat ground and stalls on incline hills. New batteries that check fully charged. What are your thoughts? Now, this is my thoughts. If you're sure about your batteries, you know, I always say, I like to, you know, eliminate the batteries as being the culprit first of all. But if you're positive about your batteries, if you're completely sure, and you're still having that issue, then about the only thing on that particular year cart that you can check is your V-Glide. You know, your V-Glide is the thing that the wiper arm that goes across the copper contacts, and it travels from the first contact all the way to the last contact. So check your range of motion with your accelerator pedal. There's a lid on the V-Glide. Take the V-Glide lid off and then push your accelerator pedal and watch that arm go up. You make sure it's going all the way to the last contact, because if it's not, you're losing a little bit of power, you're losing a little bit of speed, you're losing hill climbing ability, you're losing a little bit of everything. It's got to go all the way to the top contact. So that would be about the only thing that you could check, visually check to make sure that everything is looking like it's doing the right thing anyway. After that, we'll get into some other stuff. Is that draw per hour? That's the amount of draw as it's driving. That's the amount of amps the motor's pulling out of the battery pack. You understand what I mean? Doing 100 to 50 to 100, something like that. That's what the constant pull is, on the battery pack. Not per hour. It's just constant. Okay. that was the last regular question. Here, I will run the social media links one more time. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook. Please like and subscribe, YouTube and Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. They are gaining a following all the time. Distance driving is in a matter of this on the discharge machine. Let's go back to that. A good set of batteries will go around 100 minutes on the discharge machine before the voltage in the battery pack is at an unsafe level. All right? So that means that on flat ground, you have your foot on the gas pedal, wide open, flat ground. You could drive for about 100 minutes before you should stop. You know, now your car's not going to stop that, you know, in that scenario. The discharge machine will stop because it's monitoring voltage. Hold on just a second. We've got somebody coming. Hello. Just a second. I got some food being delivered, so I got some, be back in just a second. That's all right. No, we're live right there. Thank you. Got a new food delivery service. And I just had food delivered live on the air. Well, now you know we're live, that's for sure. Okay, Gary, I was talking about, so it would go, you could go for 100 minutes at wide open. You know, so 100 minutes at wide open on flat ground, that would equate to quite a distance if you work that out. Misty says, we love and appreciate you, brother, for all you do. Thank you, Missy. Thank you very much. Gary says, I have 4 100 amp lithium new batteries. Well, if you got 4 12 volt, you got 4 12 volt batteries in series, or you got 4 48 volts, or what are you talking about there? Greg Elliott says, love live TV. Yeah. That's the first time I've ever had food delivered live. I can tell you that, and it got on the live. Oh man, there's a food truck down the road, Craig. Oh man, and we just got a new delivery service that can deliver from that food truck. Oh man, that's going to be dangerous from now on. Yep, my wife is at the other location today because we could not, like I was saying, we both have a remote job, so we can't both hog the internet at the same time, especially when I stream. So she went to the other location so she could work, so I could have the stream bandwidth all to myself. And she ordered that food for me. You're right, Kurt. She, you know, she's been mad at me ever since I said something about, you know, starving and stuff on the air. So Gary, are you making 48 volts by 4 12 volt lithium batteries? Or are you making 48 volts by 4 48 volt batteries in parallel is what I was asking. Billy Hill says it has around 50 volts. Like, okay, well that's fine. So your battery voltage is probably fine. Let's see, running fine when I parked it, put my battery tender on it, not moving, disconnected the battery tender, had 50, I replaced the solenoid, forward inverse, and the potentiometer. Still nothing. I did notice that at 35 on the motor case and 50. Well, you could do, Billy, if you think it might be a motor issue, then you could do the motor test. You could isolate your motor and do the motor test for your car. Yours is a 99 Club Car DS, so I'm thinking that you do not have a run tow switch. Is that correct? Well, if you do not have a run tow switch, that means your car is a series car. So you could do the series motor test. And what you would do with that is, the way to do that is you're going to disconnect all 4 wires off of your motor, take a picture, or draw a diagram, whatever you got to do, because you're going to have to put them back eventually. Take all 4 wires off of your motor, and you're going to take a short jumper cable, or a short battery cable, And on your motor, you're going to jump an A terminal to an S terminal and connect that battery cable from any A terminal to any S terminal. Blah, 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 blah. Connect that up. Now you got 2 open terminals. And those 2 open terminals, you're going to put jumper cables on those and run those to a 12-volt battery. The motor should spin. Change the polarity on the battery, motor should spin the other direction. So if your motor passes that test, then your motor's good. But that's how you could isolate your motor and get that out of your mind, you know, if you were thinking that it could be the motor. If you do have a run toe switch, then it's a different motor test. You're going to make 2 connections. You're going to make an A terminal to an F terminal connection, and then an A2 terminal to an F2 terminal connection, 2 separate connections, and then hook 12 volts to those 2 connections. Let's see. You got 4 12s, Gary. Okay, so you got 4 12-volt batteries in series making your 48 volts. Your car is a 95 Club Car. I got you. Yep, Kurt, you're right. She's going out of her way to make sure that I'm able to do my show by not hogging the bandwidth. But that's exactly why she's not here today, and that's exactly why this food was ordered. So now y'all know my life story there. You know how my life goes. All right. Okay. The title of this episode was "Are My Batteries Bad?" Well, there's lots of different ways, you know, that we talk about, you know, about that to determine that. Lots of things you can do. But one of the, if you bring it to a golf cart shop, ask them to do a discharge test. You know, that's what can do with that. That could be one tip for today, Kurt. Is that could be one tip. Now here's the second tip. We talked about it earlier in this episode. If you got an older 2-stroke, a lot of people still got them, including myself. I've got an older 2-stroke golf cart, still runs like a top. But one of the most common things that goes out in older 2-strokes is crank seals. Once the crank seals start leaking, it affects all your vacuum and everything in the golf cart. It can affect your compression, but it can affect your vacuum, your pumping ability of gas to the fuel pump. So it can affect a lot of things in your golf cart, and your golf cart starts sucking in air, might start running too lean. It can do a lot of stuff. So if you're ready to tear it down and do a full rebuild, make sure you do your crank seals when you do it. That would be the tip for the day. Now, if you are interested in these, bam, you can go straight to them. If you look in the description, there's links. There's some links, swag links that go straight to the hats if you wanted a golf cart garage hat. Now, we do occasionally give one away for free. Occasionally, we're going to give one away to people in the chat. Not today. We're going to get through this holiday. After this 4th of July holiday, we'll get back on track with that, and we'll do that again. We've already had 2 winners in the past, Rock Dog and Ricky Smith. So we're going to have another winner coming up. Let's see. We're not going to be here again. I know we weren't here last Tuesday because of weather-related stuff, my internet and everything. We're not going to be here this coming Tuesday because Tuesday is the 4th. Tuesday is a federal holiday. So I will actually be off on Tuesday. So we're not going to have a live show this coming Tuesday either. So when I leave today, I will not be back until next Thursday. Okay. Billy, you don't have a run toe switch. Okay, cool. Well, then you'll do that motor test that I talked about if you're thinking that your motor may have something to do with your issue, and get that out of the equation. Let's see. So you're going to have a V-Glide, huh, Billy? You're going to, in a 99, you're going to have a V-Glide in there. If your motor ends up passing the test, then you're going to need to check that. Okay, you replaced the potentiometer. Okay, you replaced the forward and reverse and the V-Glide. Still nothing. I see. Well, I'm going to go back to the motor for now. If you've replaced everything that I would be going to, it's the only thing that you haven't. Sometimes it's just a process of elimination, you know, of what you can do. So I'd be going back and do that motor test and eliminate that. All right, guys. I think that is going to be it for today. Enjoy the 4th. Happy Independence Day, all. Love this place. And stay safe. Kurt, thank you, Kurt. Y'all hit the like button and let Tim go eat. Greg Elliott. I'm good, Greg. But that is funny. I had food delivered on the air. If there's something, Billy says on Facebook, before we get out of here, if there's something wrong with the motor, what motor do y'all have that would give more torque? Go to golfcartgarage.com, Billy, and look, and it will tell you the torque differences between your stock motor and what we offer. Look at some of those combo kits. I would recommend getting a combo kit that included a motor and a controller in your case. So yeah, there's several of them. I mean, you just have to look at them. It depends on if the percentage of torque you want, because we got some that have more torque. Generally, if you get more torque, you get a little less speed. So you might ought to keep that in mind when you're looking at the percentages. July 4th celebrations for the win. Wishing you and the missus a happy, safe 4th of July. Thank you, NV Nature Girl. Missy says, makes you a real person. Well, I am a real person, and that proves it. I just had food delivered on the air. All right, people. I will see everybody on next Thursday. Thank you all for showing back up after we missed last Tuesday. Please come in next Thursday when you get your notification, and we will see what we can get into. So, let's see. I will see you all then. Happy 4th, everybody. Be careful. Stay safe. The garage is now closed.